Shoptalk Luxe, le récap de cette première journée.
Cette première journée à Abu Dhabi dans ce cadre exceptionnel où nous avons eu l'occasion de voir plein de tech, d'assister à plein de conférences et de discuter avec des gens du monde entier.
Récap de cette deuxième journée Shoptalk Luxe à Abu Dhabi.
Le récap pour moi, pour cette deuxième journée Shoptalk Luxe, c'est une hospitalité qui s'invite dans les codes du luxe. Et oui, aujourd'hui, le luxe veut vous faire vivre des moments pour que ça se transforme en souvenirs. L'objectif du luxe aujourd'hui.
Shoptalk Luxe, le récap de cette première journée.
Cette première journée à Abu Dhabi dans ce cadre exceptionnel où nous avons eu l'occasion de voir plein de tech, d'assister à plein de conférences et de discuter avec des gens du monde entier.
Récap de cette deuxième journée Shoptalk Luxe à Abu Dhabi.
Le récap pour moi, pour cette deuxième journée Shoptalk Luxe, c'est une hospitalité qui s'invite dans les codes du luxe. Et oui, aujourd'hui, le luxe veut vous faire vivre des moments pour que ça se transforme en souvenirs. L'objectif du luxe aujourd'hui.
Shoptalk Luxe, le récap de cette première journée.
Cette première journée à Abu Dhabi dans ce cadre exceptionnel où nous avons eu l'occasion de voir plein de tech, d'assister à plein de conférences et de discuter avec des gens du monde entier.
Récap de cette deuxième journée Shoptalk Luxe à Abu Dhabi.
Le récap pour moi, pour cette deuxième journée Shoptalk Luxe, c'est une hospitalité qui s'invite dans les codes du luxe. Et oui, aujourd'hui, le luxe veut vous faire vivre des moments pour que ça se transforme en souvenirs. L'objectif du luxe aujourd'hui.
Shoptalk Luxe, le récap de cette première journée.
Cette première journée à Abu Dhabi dans ce cadre exceptionnel où nous avons eu l'occasion de voir.
Je peux mettre les notes.
Hello everyone.
Hi everyone, welcome. We're live from Abu Dhabi. Thanks so much for joining us today. It's great to see you here in this special live. We'll wait one more minute for people to connect and then we'll get started.
So Laëtitia, how do you feel with this weather?
Well, not too bad. We are under the sun, the perfect sun of Abu Dhabi, Emirates. I think this is the perfect time and perfect weather for a special live here for Shoptalk Luxe.
Yes, it was 3 days packed at here in Abu Dhabi. The weather is great. It's a little bit windy. You shouldn't hear the noise
Really
of the
windy?
road. No?
This is the only thing you have to say about the weather. Windy. Okay.
And we'll start like in 2 minutes. People are connecting. Hello everyone.
Hi everyone. People are jumping in the live. That's great.
Hey Jessica, Werner, Cédric, Baptiste. Hello everyone. We can read you. So don't hesitate to write in the chat any questions or any comment, and we can react with you guys.
So, hi everyone again, and I think that this is time to start. For those who don't know us yet, quick intro. So, I'm Laëtitia Lamary, the co-founder of Butterfly Agency and first and foremost, the co-host of Le Café de l'e-commerce. I work with Adrien with brands and tech players on retail, e-com, and customer experience strategies.
And I'm Adrien. Hello, Thomas. I can see you from Lyon. I'm Adrien, co-host of the show. These live sessions are part of our Shoptalk Luxe Abu Dhabi coverage. For 3 days, we have shared our takeaways from the event, and now we want to share our honest feedback and everything that we have learned. Today, it's the big recap, the recap in English and in live for the first time.
The goal is very, very, very simple. to help brands understand what really matters right now and what will still matter tomorrow.
Laetitia, I don't want to start. I want to say hi to Henrik, to Amal, and for all those people that are connecting. We see you. Thank you very much for your comments. So, first thing off, Laetitia, what is Shoptalk Luxe?
Shoptalk Luxe. Well, this is based now in the Middle East, and this is the first edition of Shoptalk Luxe. This is an international event fully focused on luxury, retail, and tech. And it brings together senior leaders and decision makers from across the global luxury ecosystem.
This edition takes place from this Monday to this Tuesday to Thursday, so from the 27th to 29th, here in Abu Dhabi at the Emirates Palace.
And it's organized by who? By Have Group, with the Abu Dhabi Investment Office as the strategic partner. And it's part of the broader Shoptalk series. You might know that because we already covered like Shoptalk Las Vegas, Barcelona, or even Chicago.
Hello, Dietrich, and hello, Angelique. Hello, everyone. The discussion today that we have seen this week are on customer experience beyond the product, loyalty and communities, the reinvention of online, offline journey, search, discovery, and also leadership and operational excellence.
And in terms of number of scale, more than 2,000 decision makers are here with over 170 international speakers on stage, from designer to CEOs and retail leaders, and us as well.
So all of this in the context of this luxury market. I wasn't sure how the luxury market was before coming here, and we learned that it's around $1.5 trillion, and it's still a growing market at more than 10% per year.
And it's not the place to be, but basically we can say that this is the place to understand how luxury retail is actually evolving in practice.
Laëtitia, before we start, I have a question for you. So is this really an event about luxury or for luxury brands? Because there are a lot of brands that are not luxury. They can be premium, or sometimes they are not even premium. What do you think?
I will say that this is wider. This is for luxury ecosystem. From our side, because we are very, very French, we will say that, as for example, Hugo Boss is not very premium or even luxury. But here in the Middle East, as for example, Hugo Boss is an affordable luxury brand. So this is for all of these people who don't have access to these big events. We can bring together here and discuss about luxury with the global ecosystem.
I kind of agree with you. We had like the good thing is like on stage, most of the brands were either a premium or a luxury, and in the audience, everyone learned from luxury. So it's always good to have like to meet peers, but also other markets.
And we will see we learn from luxury, but also from another industry.
So, Laëtitia, so the first trends that we have seen, we have four for you today, is the store. I'm so happy that we can have an event and we can talk about store. And the store, we can see it's retail as a sanctuary. So one thing that we've seen this week at Shoptalk Luxe is that it's not about retailtainment anymore. We heard this retailtainment a couple of years ago at NRF, for instance. And I don't know about you, but we didn't hear a lot about making store more spectacular, more wow, or more fun. It was something else. The store as a place where people feel protected.
Yeah, exactly. Adrien just said sanctuary. Yeah, here when you buy, this is like a ceremonial. And yeah, the idea was very clear and explained at the Capgemini event. So here you had a lot of key session, keynotes, and we attend the Capgemini event session. It was entitled The New Codes of Luxury from Ownership to Sanctuary. And their point was very clear. It was that luxury is moving away from ownership, and it's less about now having things, but more about how do you feel? How do you connect with the brand? And now the store becomes a kind of refuge, a shelter. And this is very important. Keep in mind that word because we will develop that later.
What was interesting is it's much what we see on the market when we discuss with players, not only in Abu Dhabi but in Europe and in the US. Luxury stores are not designed anymore just to sell fast. People go there to slow down, to feel calm, to feel safe, especially in a world, and especially in a world that is very noisy, very social, very digital, very dangerous.
And we heard the same logic in more operational way with the Shadow Group. Here the Shadow Group is very present. I mean, they have everything, all the brands, and they distribute every brand. The presentation was very polished, maybe quite too much copyright, but the message was very clear. Physically, physical retail is still the key, but only if the experience is coherent, consistent, and emotionally reassuring. So the future department store that will be opening from the Shadow Group in Miami is not about pushing conversion. No, it's all about curation, community, and experience. And tech is always presented as a support, not as a goal. Tech is not everything.
You on the first day, the opening keynote was with the CEO of Shallow Group. At the end of the presentation, I told you that I found it quite boring. I haven't learned anything. And it was very high level. And you told me, no, that was a good session.
Yeah, it was a good session because Michael Chaloub from the Shallow Group was very confident. Actually, he said the things that happened here in the region, and he says that, okay, we are local, but we need to think global. So we need to think about everything that happens everywhere in the world. If we want to open a department store in Miami, we need to think about what is happening in Miami, but we need to think about New York and all of these things as a galaxy. So we don't need to be only local. We need to be very relevant all over the world.
And there's something that you told me, and you are completely right. Luxury players, they are not used to share everything. I mean, everyone is quite keeping their own data, but specifically in luxury, you don't go and you don't share everything you have and all your secret, right?
Yeah, I used to say quiet luxury because this is very quiet here at Shoptalk Luxe. But yeah, that's the mindset. So that's quiet luxury and also quiet technology.
And we'll talk about this. So there was one session around the VIC, a very important customer. There was a study that was presented during a session, and they said something very strong. The ultimate luxury sanctuary is no longer the store, it's the customer home. It's not about bringing people at any cost anymore and doing all the acquisition investment. It's about knowing how to enter their personal space in a respectful and relevant way. So building this trust.
Yeah, and this is what we've seen in stores. There's also why, in our view, the store is not competing with e-commerce. Forget about that. I know we've been grew up with that idea that e-commerce is competitive with the store. No, here, nothing compared to that. They just don't have the same role, actually. And this is pretty true. E-commerce has to be fast, very efficient, and the store has to be slow, reassuring. This is this idea of sanctuary, actually. And above all, memorable. You need to remind how was your experience at the mall and at the store. And digital teams have to stop trying to replace the store. That's not the good battle, actually. They should understand and extend the emotional experience with more, I think, educational content. Content is the key as well, always. More transparency and less commercial pressure. Yeah, here when you are in Dubai, no one will in Dubai and Abu Dhabi, no one will come and say, hey, may I help you? This is completely different. This is never strategy, and the commercial pressure, you don't see it, actually.
Yeah, you're right. Hello to all the newcomers. Swapan, we can see you. Hello, Delphine, bonjour, Edouard, and so on. No, you're completely right, Laëtitia. Something else that we heard about this this concept of retail as a shelf or retail as a store, as a sanctuary, is like discovery. Discovery is becoming more and more algorithmic, and we know this. We'll talk about tech later during this presentation. More than 1 billion people use generative AI every day, and a lot of conversations are already about decision making. And we can see every day there's a news about OpenAI or some player that are allowing to buy on those chatbot LLM. So it's changing fast and everything.
Yeah, and here what we learn is that AI prepares, the store protects. That's the idea of sanctuary. When you are in a sanctuary, you are protected. So when you are in a store, you are protected. That's really how here in Abu Dhabi we see the relationship. And we will talk later about relationship. AI can recommend, they can prepare, they can optimize, but the store is where the human relationship still exists. And in luxury, AI should stay invisible. That's why I talk about quiet technology.
I mean, it's invisible and we barely hear about AI. You know, we were 2 weeks ago in New York. All the sessions were about AI, agentic AI. And I was very surprised that, yes, there's a question. There's always a question about AI, but this is not the main topic. So it reminds me like a couple of years ago when we used to go to some trade show, it was not only about one topic, because now it's at NRF, it was too much AI everywhere. So it's nice to have some other topics, no?
That's really nice. And you know, here, all the sessions are not about agentic or AI. No, they are about the store. We said that about the scenery, about the sanctuary. How do you welcome people? How can you improve your story? How can you catch up with other generation? So yes, that's very difficult when you're coming back from New York 10 days ago. you are like greenwashing with all these AI things, and here this is completely different.
The nice thing about Shoptalk, at least this week, is that we had amazing global brands that were like sharing some things on stage. You mentioned Shallow Group; they were doing the keynote session, opening session, and you're right, they are still growing despite the global slowdown. Level Shoes is preparing a 3,600 square meter flagship. Even Shallow Group is planning next year to open in Miami. So Amouage, we mentioned we had Amouage. I think just after the keynote session, Amouage was on the stage. The CEO was there. They multiplied their business by 4. They plan to multiply by 4 in 5 years. We had also some internal insight from Amouage that they are growing very fast internally. So it's working well. And no, the store is not dying.
No, the store is not dying. And I would say that what is dying is the store without emotional value. And yeah, we have a question about the Dubai Mall that is very standardized. Yeah, that's very standardized, but because this is the standard of here, and they are trying to be more like a sanctuary. They don't say we are doing everything perfectly, but from our perspective, from European and almost from New York perspective, believe me, yeah, they try to be more welcome, simply, yeah, back to basics. So yeah, what is dying is the store without emotional value. And we had here the chance to hear people from the Gen Z, and people from the Gen Z are really on stage. They speak for themselves. This is not the other generation, like Adrien and I, who speak for them. And what they said is that they don't buy logos. They just want to join cultures. They look for places where they feel they belong, where they feel good. And when one teenager out of 3 prefers to talk to an AI about serious topic, well, we can still think that human interaction becomes rare and valuable. And they are looking for human interaction, and they are looking for this interaction where? In stores.
There are like 2 kind of session that we've seen this week. The session that are specific to Middle East, how the culture, the culture and the retail and the tech, and also how the luxury market is going in the US, in Europe, in Asia. And when I see like Jacques, we discuss about mall, but really one of the other things that we see here in Abu Dhabi, Dubai, when we visit those malls, is that the hiring people is very cheap. So you can have like a lot of people for one customer, and each time you go to a store, those are nice store, very nice store, but you have so many people like attending you, making sure that you feel good, that you feel like a sheikh or a queen or a king, right?
Yeah, I feel like a queen when I'm in a store here in Abu Dhabi.
So yeah, the store is not a social symbol anymore. It's more identity anchor. So I like the session where, it's really about store, because we are e-commerce. So for once, it's good to see that the store is not dying.
Yeah.
Middle East is a very good place for this model. So we'll see how it applies also to Europe and US and everywhere else. So there's something else, Laëtitia, is that the very strong culture of hospitality here, right?
Yeah, the culture of hospitality is very strong, and they adopt all the methods and all the things that they could see or could have been, all the things that could have worked in hospitality. That's very strategic for them.
So let's move to the second pillars or second trends that we've seen.
The second thing we want to talk about, let's say that.
It's the new generation of customers from status to belonging. So yeah, at Shoptalk Luxe, people are not really talking about young customers anymore. They are talking about new consumption behavior, new reflexes. They talk about Gen Z, they talk about Gen Alpha, and it's at the center of this shift.
Yeah, I would love to talk about Gen Alpha, and I think that you in the audience, you will be very surprised. But one thing that came back a lot is that Gen Z is not anti-luxury. Yeah, that's very obvious. It didn't surprise me at all. But what surprised me is that they are not empty luxury. 100% of luxury is not their goal. And empty luxury for them means the brands that have no narratives and no values. They accept the price, they accept variety, they even accept exclusivity. Actually, they want exclusivity. What they do reject is very, very clearly the incoherence, the fake storytelling. I know that this is strange because we are maybe in the place where fake is is promoted. We can say that.
Be
but
careful if you want to come back here next year.
fake storytelling from the brands that say one thing and do another.
The picture that you see on the screen is a very good example. It was a session we were attending with Laëtitia, and those guys, they talk about Gen Z, Gen Alpha. They are young, they are entrepreneurs. They talk because they are exactly the kind of customers, and they were explaining how, you know, if a brand try to trick the audience, it will not work, and they will know about this, and it will have a very bad impact on them. So for luxury brand, really, it's a big change. Desire is not enough anymore. Luxury has to make sense, and if they want people to buy, that's something we heard a lot during the talk, not only on stage but when we were meeting with people. I think that's good. That's a good sign that it's not just about transaction, but it's about building trust.
Yeah, and also relation. And there is also a clear shift from status to belonging. So we heard this sentence a few times in different forms. People don't buy to show anymore, they buy to belong. And this is very stuck to the Gen Z. Luxury becomes more than something. It just becomes a feeling recognized, feeling understood, and part of a culture. Yeah, we heard a lot this word, culture. Yeah, the culture of luxury. So community matters more than exclusivity, and selection matters more than accumulation. And I would like to make a parallel with the retail. We also see the not retail luxury, retail non-luxury. Community matters as well. So I think that luxury has a lot to learn from accessible retail. We can say that.
There was a lot of session around price. And you know, it's very sensitive in luxury. What is the good price? So no one has the good answer. I think it depends of who you're targeting.
But
your market.
Hugo Boss on stage says something very true. He said, "Well, in 4 years, I only raised my prices twice, because if I raise or even if I diminish my price, it doesn't mean anything for the brand and also for the communities and for the consumers."
And even the idea of rarities is changing. It's not only about price anymore. So we talk about price, of course, but we talk about all those things. I remember yesterday you were talking to me and you said it's good to have more those philosophical questions about the market, the luxury positioning, the products, and it changed. I mean, you're right. At NRF, I'm talking about NRF because we were there 2 weeks ago, but I would say during the last years, all the session that we have is very transactional, customer experience.
Only
and tools.
transactional, only payments. Actually, we're talking about agentic payments. So yeah, only transactional. So what we see here is that emotion is very important, but also rarity. But rarity doesn't need to be displayed anymore. It needs to be recognized, and that's a big difference from all what we've seen in Europe, in the Western world. And you talk about NRF, yes.
Amal, you are talking about Gen Z and Gen Alpha. There was a 40-minute session.
I think you should talk about that.
There was a 40-minute session just on Gen Alpha. So Gen Alpha, in the chat, those are people that have
very
between
young.
0 to 15
0
years.
to 50, 12, I think.
No, it was 50. But anyway,
young people.
And the session was all about how can you make sure as a luxury brand that the first thing they buy is within your ecosystem. So it needs to be expensive, not too much expensive.
Yeah, and we're talking about luxury, not just beauty at Sephora. Sorry for Sephora. But yeah, this is how the Gen Alpha is able, not has the money, but how the Gen Alpha will have the chance someday to buy luxury.
And it's all about gamification, making sure to be authentic. And there's one sentence.
And it's not about the money and the price.
No. And there was a quote I like. It's you should not be perfect. And actually, you should have imperfection because this is what they are looking for, right? Some kind of authenticity. It was really interesting to have the session. Of course, we didn't have Gen Alpha speaker. It's not.
No, but maybe next year we will have.
In a couple of years.
Hi, I'm 5 years and I like to wear Gucci.
Laëtitia, I would like to have your point of something. It's around the vintage, second-hand, upcycling, and those kind of things for those new generation. We know that it's important. There were a couple of sessions around this, right? Not session, but maybe.
No, you're right. Compared to NRF, and again, I'm sorry to make the comparison, but at NRF, re-commerce, we can say that, was not a topic. But here, and it's very strange because at the beginning, I had this stereotype that, they don't care about the nature, they don't care about the re-commerce, the sustainability. But yes, they do care actually, and there are a lot of sessions. The sessions were mainly focused on Gen Z and mainly focused on services like repair services, the curation, and also the content, the honest storytelling, and real added value. So this is not about noise, but with real case, I will say, because as Adrien said, and on the screen, you've seen some session. Yeah, they do care, and actually, this is not about noise. This is about action.
I heard this word a lot. It's trust, and it can be from technology, it can be from customer experience, it can be from brand power, and so on. I like the fact. So this is something again. Shout out to Shoptalk because they decide who will talk and what they will talk about. And there was a lot of warning around the fake circular luxury. How you can trick. I gave you the example of those Genji saying, "Look, if you are reissuing a product without real added value, that's just marketing bullshit, and it will not work." So really, Gen Z doesn't forgive incoherence, those kind of incoherence.
No, they don't. Actually, they are very sharp and strong on that. Well, I told you what really works here are the services and mainly the repair services. Another strong signal is about all AI. You know, the AI when we were at NRF, and even when you are in Europe and all of these events, we are talking about AI. I mean, this is the only thing, AI, agentic AI, and how can the AI help you in your decision journey. We had a lot of sessions about that, and maybe around discovery, Adrien.
Yes, I mean, this is like it's always about how AI will have an impact on customer journey, on the decision journey, and as we said here, it was like we are not talking so much about technology. It was really about social inspires, but AI decided. So how can you make sure to have like something more conversational? How the decision needs to become more conversational. So you need to engage more with your audience.
And for once, we had numbers as well. I mean, this is all the numbers we heard. Maybe this is good to remind them. More than 1.5 billion people use Gen AI every day. This is me, this is you, this is Adrien, a lot of Adrien. And around 50% of AI conversation already involve decision making. And tomorrow it will involve transaction. And journeys coming from AI show higher conversion and higher average basket. But the real question when you hear these numbers for brands is no longer, I think, does the consumer see me, but maybe it's, does the AI understand me? And, this is AI, so is there any emotion in that? That's the real question. And it changes a lot of things.
Yeah, and it's also about intimacy dimension. I mean, we can talk also about data privacy. You probably heard the news this week about CloudBot, all the security things, flows that you have in the system. So we know that everything is changing so fast. We don't know what will be tomorrow, but today we already have the data. As Laëtitia said, 1 teenager out of 3 prefer to talk to an AI rather than a human. I don't mind talking to a robot. Really.
That's your case.
and it's not because AI is better, but it doesn't judge. It's always available, etc. There's no emotion. And again, when I hear the session about the thing, and I know that you might not agree with me, that you don't have emotion when you talk to AI. Maybe not today, but for sure that tomorrow you will have emotion. Emotion has just 0 or 1, and you can build emotion. So I think that everything that you can say AI is not will not work for luxury. For when you have built this trust, I think that at some point and very soon you could rely on AI as well.
Right, and it means a lot regarding the customer relationship. We do think that the customer relationship is slowly moving, and that's a shift outside of the channels, the current channels brands that they do actually control. This is another dimension.
And it's a good news, I think. We shift from influence to expertise. Maybe all those fake influencers that live in Dubai will leave this place. I don't know. Maybe we'll leave this place if we are considered as influencer, but no, more expertise. And the brands, they don't just need to seduce a human anymore. Unfortunately, they need to seduce or to convince AI system through data, relevance of the data, etc. That's a time for another session. But basically, you have like not only your human, but also like making sure that you have all the data available.
Yeah, and I think that sooner or later we will see that consequences, that we see a return of product education, more structured PR, more expert content, less hype, less noise, and more substance.
Bon, there's something else. No. We are French. We'll not make like that. I'm looking at the chat again. Hello, David, Amal, Jacques, and all the others. Don't hesitate to ask questions, and we can answer here. this is something, Laëtitia, I was sure that it was almost like you were on stage when I heard this. You cannot talk to Gen Z if you don't have Gen Z inside your organization. And it's so true. Like, don't pretend to be a Gen Z. We are not, and Gen Alpha.
We
And so
can
on.
pretend that.
So
Yeah.
talking about them without them in the room creates like a disconnect. And this is why I love at NRF in New York, you told me that there was a session like this,
Yeah.
right? And Shoptalk also, they bring more and more those younger generation to talk about this.
Yeah, and I do think that you people in the audience, you should consider Gen Z. You should hire Gen Z, actually. You should hear Gen Z. They need to be involved very, very, very early. I mean, they are the C-levels of tomorrow. So in conception and everywhere in the customer journey, and just only in validation, because I think that Gen Z is not just a marketing target. This is more complex than that. And this is the kind of every generation. But this particular generation, I mean, they have the mic just like us, so they can say what they want.
I think that, most of the time when we talk about Gen Z, I already don't agree about this because it doesn't mean anything. And when I hear, so we heard this week, Gen Z doesn't consume faster, they consume more consciously. I think this is bullshit. I mean, it's really depends on so many things. And one day a Gen Z will buy consciously, they will look for like an ethical reason to buy. The next day, because something happened, they don't give a shit. So I don't know, all those studies about Gen Z, Gen Alpha, I'm just saying that it's not good what I heard. But basically, you need to be careful when you hear about that. So your advice about having them, talking about them, I think it's the best.
Yeah, and I would like to share a story. When I was at this session, Gen Z session, well, all of them are CEO or already has a big brand. And one of them has a platform, Leather Shoes. And what he said, well, it resonated to me. It makes an echo in me. And believe me or not, but Adrien can say, yes, that's true. Right after this session, I bought on his platform and I tried because all the storytelling, what he said, well, it means a lot to me because he talked about the selection, the product, the delivery, the supply chain, all of these things. And he is just only 25 years old. And we could say, okay, you don't understand about commerce, about e-commerce, about luxury. But yes, he does actually. And now I'm one of his customers. And I will talk maybe later if you would like about my experience. But it was amazing.
Something that all the session agreed, but again, at Luxury Shoptalk, they will not say the opposite, is that new generation, they don't want less luxury. They want a better luxury, right?
Yeah, they do want a better luxury. And even if this is second-hand luxury.
Hello everyone, Michel, Cedric, and so on. Okay, third trend that we've seen is technology in service of the store again. So technology is not it's no longer a topic by itself. Nobody's impressed by tech anymore. Like we haven't heard, as we told you earlier during this presentation, we haven't heard AI everywhere. It's not about technology. What matters is very simple, is like, what do you enable or the impact it can have in the store, and what you should stop doing and what you should start doing.
Yeah, and there is this kind of concept of premiumization 2.0, and it was presented by Publicis and also LVMH. So in the Middle East, 64% of luxury customers still prefer to buy in-store. Well, just like the Gen Z, actually, they have something in common. And even though most of the research happens online, that's why you have this kind of connection between stores and online.
It's very strange because here we are talking about luxury, so the maturity might not be the same in terms of e-commerce, not digital but e-commerce, and we are in Middle East, in Abu Dhabi, Dubai, where also the penetration of e-commerce is not the same as other region. At the end of the day, what we can see is that digital is here to helping people, consumer, to prepare their buying experience, comparing the product, inform, and so on. And at the end of the day, I mean, the final decision is still very physical. So it's important not to have like a tech lag, because you want to make sure that there's no friction.
Yeah, and again, because of that, we have this feeling, this sensation that the role of the store is changing. And I know you, from the European view, we know that, but this is very difficult to embrace that. And we can say that here, this is less about transaction and more about relation. I know I'm repeating myself, but the store becomes a place where customer feels recognized, emotionally safe, and where the relation continues over time. And this is this idea of sanctuary.
for us that were everywhere we go on in our the last couple of years, it was really about yes the store, but it's digital e-commerce. We had someone on stage, I will not say his name, the CEO of an amazing company. I was shocked. I wanted to stand out and take the mic. He said,
But this is not allowed here.
yeah,
so no.
I don't believe so much in digital. I don't care about digital. I was like, what?
Yeah, but the guy at the same time says, okay, I will open like 15 new stores in the region. So we can understand what he says actually. And I think that we have this matrix that e-commerce is the solution.
Yeah, and I like, so again, I'm a tech guy. I love technology, and here is not more to push the sales anymore. This is something I liked a lot. The discussion less about customer experience and more about operational excellence, if I would put it this way. So how technology can improve the human relationship inside the physical space.
Yeah, and to answer to your question, there is a very strong signal from the same study about LVMH and Publicis. 56% of consumers says they are dissatisfied with the current experience, not because this is not enough, there is no enough innovation, but because there are not enough coherence and real personalization. So this is not all about tech again.
Yeah, but it's also 44% are happy.
Yeah. Also,
so it's good.
Yeah, people are happy. Yeah, with digital and screens and digital devices. Yeah,
and we see like we heard this during a session. 62% of the customers, they are afraid of that AI could destroy the human relationship. I don't believe in this, and we can have a long debate around this. Maybe today, but tomorrow, why not? So the message is really about. Technology, as you say, Laëtitia, technology must stay invisible for the customer, and it's essential for the staff. And by the way, this is something we'll see at the end of this live. We have like a three tech that we liked, and some of them are around the frontline worker, the sales associate.
Yeah, and before talking about the tech, I would like to say that we had on stage famous brands like John Lewis. This is very, very UK here. I mean, the audience. John Lewis, L'Occitane, and also Hugo Boss. And they just they agreed on the fact that being premium today is not about more features, more devices, but this is more about choice and more novelty. How can you be more innovative without tech, but on the choices that you will make on the content, as for example, on the marketing as well, and on the stores, obviously.
Yeah, and this is something at the end of the first day, I told you that this is not a luxury event. You have so many like non-luxury brands. They pretend to be luxury. And I think Shoptalk had a very good like strategy around this. They call the session premiumization. So premiumization is really about, I'm not necessarily a luxury brand, but I want to go more into premium brand, a luxury brand. And you had those session. And so in this case, everyone is looking to be a premium. I was sitting next to Heineken, and I said, "What are you doing here?" And he said, "No, we are looking to be more premium." So I say, "Yeah,
that's the word. Yeah, premiumization, really.
Exactly."
And all of these cases that we've seen, we can say that the rule is the same. Tech should not speak for or to the customer. It should not replace the sales associate. And we can see that. I think that someone in the chat say, okay, the Galleria is a good example. Actually, this is the case. And here, the tech does not replace the sales associate.
Yeah. It's like it's not anymore a competitive advantage.
Yeah.
Before you could say, I have this solution, whatever, I have a very innovative POS, whatever it is. And today it's really less about tech. So that's good because it's really tech helping.
Good. That's good, but when Adrien and I are coming and visiting some stores, and we have this question: what is particular in your store? Do you have any special devices or whatever? They say, no, this is just us and the product. And that's the best answer, actually.
And coming back, because we are in the tech session about AI, in luxury specifically, it's all about finding the balance. And it's very hard. Probably I will be more AI driven than others, but finding the balance is really about, having like this, of course, customer experience, good personalization, but you need to keep the human relationship. And Laëtitia, this is exactly the same thing that we hear in France or in the US when we talk to those very global luxury maisons. They would never invest in AI to talk with the customers, but at the same time they innovate and they try a lot of things.
Yeah, so maybe to conclude that, we can say that efficiency, yes, of course, with tech, not so sure, but always in service of the perceived value in the store. And online. I'm sorry, I need to speak about e-commerce, but also online.
Fourth trend that we've seen this week, it's when retail learns from hospitality. This was very interesting because luxury retailer is no longer comparing itself to e-commerce. That comparison is almost over. I say almost because you still hear sometimes the discussion e-commerce versus physical store. The new reference point is hospitality.
Yeah.
And when you listen at the conferences, you understand why. Hospitality knows how to manage things retail has underestimated for a long time, memory, and emotion. And Laëtitia, we've been saying this since a couple of years, having a store with an experience, right? And the hospitality, they are
You
they are
always
very
have an
mature on this.
experience when you are in hospitality. As for example, we are here in the Grand Hyatt, just in front of the Mandarin. The Mandarin is the place where Shoptalk takes place. And believe me, here we are more than welcome to make this special live. People here around us ask us, what do you need? Do you need some things? Can we help you? The connection is great or not? So this is the hospitality. And this is the same in the hotel, in the store, and even online. And there was one number that really helps us to understand this shift. In luxury, hospitality, around 70% of perceived value comes from the human experience, not tech, not from the product itself, not from the infrastructure. This is from the human, from the sales associates. And that's exactly the realization luxury retail is going through right now. Brands are starting to understand maybe that they really creates value. And this is not about what you sell, but maybe more about how people feel when they interact with you.
You mentioned L'Occitane. This is a perfect example of a
Yeah.
brand that it's not luxury, but definitely premium. And they have those spa, they have a hotel, those restaurants. I mean, they are very advanced in this. We had another example with Jumeirah. They don't talk about moments anymore. They talk about memories at scale. And the idea is not just to deliver good service, but to create experience people remember and associate emotionally with the brand. Laëtitia, when was the last time you remember you had this emotion? Don't say yesterday or 2 days ago.
Every day here in
Yeah.
Abu Dhabi?
No, but in
really?
a store, in a retail store.
In a retail store.
Maybe L'Occitane,
maybe
you
in
did it,
L'Occitane,
yeah?
in L'Occitane,
Hello
here
Yoga,
at
maybe
the,
also,
at
yeah.
the Galère. No, more than at L'Occitane,
Yeah.
actually. As Adrien said, this is not about luxury, L'Occitane. Ancestral brand, very with strong roots, strong values. The store here at the Galera is a little bit small, as Adrien said, but when you enter, you put your foot, just one toe in the store. This is magical because you are more than welcome. And when I asked the associate, well, the beauty ambassador, why she's so kind to me, even if I don't buy anything, she just said, okay, you are my guest, you're in my place, you're in my house, and yeah, I would like to welcome you just as a special guest. And believe me, I don't know, this is like a very, very, very small. There is this sofa, and I asked her, why there is a sofa? Is that for disabled people? And she told me, no, this is for you because you are our guest. Do you need a coffee or something else? Yeah, it was more than a moment. And I do remember that. And believe me, I'm a client of L'Occitane everywhere, in airports, in train station, in mall in France, but it never happened anywhere else except here.
Joris, about your question, stay with us because at the end of this, we will have like some technology and I think you will love it because there's an answer. And hello, Lucy and Jessica. Laëtitia, we had some example at Aesop as well.
Yeah,
right?
Aesop, the Australian brand, the CMO was on stage and she said, well, this is the same logic of hospitality, but it's applied in very simple way. Welcome and conversation are treated as ritual, not script. You don't have a sales associate who say, hi, welcome, what do you need? No, you have a real conversation. Just what I told you with L'Occitane. I remember this discussion with that girl. And there's no feeling of a process or a checklist. And you know what? The time doesn't matter. I mean, she didn't talk to me. She didn't say to me, okay, I don't have time. There are another customers. Please be fast. You know your product. No. Time doesn't matter. And it's all about real interaction, real listening, and real taking time. Just like when you're checking at the hotel, actually, or when you arrive in a restaurant, you made a reservation, time is very slow.
The slide that you can see here is about a conference with Harrods. I mean, there were a couple of them, but Harrod said, and something, and it's another strong signal going into your direction. The store is no longer like positioned as a POS, as a point of sale with this transaction, is framed as a brand experience platform. I love this expression, brand experience platform. So you include online, offline as a brand experience platform. That tells you a lot about where luxury retail is heading, right?
Yeah, and we'll talk a lot about all the sessions that we attended. We made a lot of source tours, but at the beginning, I was very skeptical, and I said, okay, what people are talking to us is like shit. This is just theoretical, but no, we do experience that. And brands, they aim to really invest in hospitality inside their stores, and they want to see, to be perceived very concrete and with concrete results, up to 30% more time spent in store. That's what I told you. You don't know what day you were, and what's the date and what's the time. So you spend more time, not just like in a casino, maybe. And that's a direct increase in loyalty and recommendation. Yeah, because when you are welcomed and recognized, you want more. You want a strong loyalty program, and you want more recommendation, and also you want to come back.
In a world that is more and more algorithmic with AI, data-driven, and so on, we know that, we see that hospitality becomes one of the last part of the customer relationship that cannot be automated. In one of the conferences, the speaker was saying that during the last years, there are a lot of customers buying those bags, those watches, and so on. And now they are looking for experiences. They want to go to the restaurant, they want to go to the spa, or to the hospital. The economic logic behind this is clear. As you said, all the numbers goes into the same direction. The high-end hospitality, a 5% increase in loyalty can generate up to 25% more profit. The relationship matter more than the transaction. We talked about this, the brand power, the trust, the transparency. So really, luxury retail is starting to apply the same logic here.
And I guess for luxury brands, they know that at some point, at some moment, transaction will happen. They do know that. So they do prefer to focus on the relation and also the conversation more than on the transaction. When you see someone in a store, in a luxury brand, and you recognize that person, do you want that person to buy you your new bag, or do you want to know more about that person? How is she feeling? What was her last trip, or how is she? So I think that the conversation really, really matters. And when you're in luxury brands, you know that transaction happens at the moment. So the performance is no longer something you show with numbers or features. It's something for customer feels. Brands that really invest in hospitality, driven experience. And I know that at some points this is very philosophical, but yeah, you need to experience that. And the message is very, very simple. In a world where discovery is algorithmic, hospitality is completely different. It becomes the last non-automatable advantage.
So we still have like a couple of minutes together. Let's go to the next last session.
Let's go to the tech.
So we have chosen like 3 SaaS tech that we liked, right?
Yeah. We made a lot, actually.
Yeah, we met a dozen of them during the last 3 days. So the first tech is Genoctua. I'm not sure about the pronunciation. It's a US-based startup founded in 2025, 9 months ago. The founder was here at the Shoptalk Luxe, and there are around 25 people. They focus on virtual try-on. And frankly, when I heard this at the beginning, I wanted to say after 5 seconds, sorry, I need to go. There's too many VTO solutions.
And you don't really believe in
Yeah, and I told the guy, look, I don't believe in this. VTO, there are so many. Every week or every month, I would say, there's a new VTO solution coming from anywhere from the world. So this market is overcrowded. And the way they work, so I say, how do you differentiate yourself? The way they work, you give access. So when you go on the website, you give access to your photo stores on your phone, the thousands of photos
you
that
mean
you have.
All your album
you can
photos,
you can choose either a couple of them, an album, or the full every photos. You can have 10,000 photos, and it will analyze the pictures and it will update the product with you.
I was a little bit skeptical, and I'm still skeptical, because I think that personalization goes too far at that point. This is too far for me. This is too much. And the first question is not the demo, but it's all about data. Do you think that it will really work in France, in Europe, with all our GDPR framework? I'm not too sure. And I said that to the founder, and I think that he will find a solution.
No. And the solution is that it's using edge computing, so everything stay on the mobile, and that's why I love this technology. And we wanted to keep this. Is that you don't send anything to the cloud; it stays edge, so it stays local. It will analyze and update everything, all the product.
Yeah, do you think that it will work for luxury? Actually?
So I don't know, because today they have no customers. It's MVP. They are starting. They are only 9 months. But the guy comes from Informatica. He knows what he's talking about. And this is the first time I see this approach.
Yeah.
So I wish them good luck with this.
Good luck.
Second startup is JumpMind. So JumpMind is a SaaS company with a very strong retail background, around 120 people, founded in 2008. So maybe the US audience, you know them. I don't think they are in Europe, or it's a small office in Europe. They launched their POS in 2019. So company 2008 and POS 10 years later. I will explain to you why in 1 second. And today they do with their POS promotion, inventory, clienteling, etc. We heard a lot of things about clienteling, and it goes exactly to what you said about recognizing and building this experience in the store. The thing I loved about their booth is when I read POS new generation, Mac. So I say, okay, let's hear about this. And at the beginning, so 20 years ago, or whatever, 20 years ago, they started as an integration company. So they came from data integration, and after 10 years, they said, you know what, let's open the POS. So their POS is amazing because you can integrate very easily with all the systems. So from a tech standpoint, I love it. It's very modern, and it's like nice because you are not stuck into a template.
And that was the very first time you met them?
Yeah, I haven't heard. I never heard about them.
Yeah.
But maybe some people on LinkedIn, they know them. Okay. Let's debate over this. Mehdi, you say hospitality is the buzzword during this event. Let's
and 2 weeks ago, the buzzword was agentic commerce.
Exactly.
So,
so we really need to have
a new buzzword.
Marketing consultant needs to be paid, right? So they need to find a buzzword. Last tech.
The last tech, Tabai. You can see Tabai everywhere here, online and even in stores. In the Middle East, Tabai is not an option, it's standard. So Tabai represents around 30% market share in pay now, buy later, BNPL in the region, with tens of millions of users.
And you tried, right? Because when you went online, you could see them.
I see. And as you said, as I said, this is standard. So you can see the logo everywhere, and in stores and also online, because I make the test online.
And it's funny because they are so well known in Middle East. Then when we approach them, first their booth is like very simple. There's just the logo and there's no word. So when to say what is Tabai, and they say, okay, we are.
You don't know us?
No, you are a fintech, BNPL. Say, yeah, but there are tons of them. The Klarna and so on. Say, yeah, but
and they're very young as well.
Yeah, exactly. They are like
2020.
Yeah, something like 5
During
years, and they are like
2,000
people. No, but the crazy thing is that they just focus in Middle East. They don't care about Europe, US. But if you want to do BNPL in Middle East, they are the number one. So they have like they know the complexity of the market.
And also in luxury, so they operate for luxury as well. So BNPL is not a bad word even in luxury.
So let's jump to the conclusion and let's have a chat with everyone that is connected. So, I mean, there's a paradox at Shoptalk Luxe. Luxury on one side want to slow down, but the world where we live is accelerating. AI, automation, algorithm, geopolitics, and so on. So really, I think that one of the things that I see here is like, it's not about going fast, but being ready and adapt. What you say about Chaloup. I didn't like the session, but at the end, it was very smart. It's like, we don't know what will come tomorrow, so we need to adapt. And it's really about, we haven't talked about AI, but it's about having the experience and having everything ready for the machine to continue.
Yeah, and I do think that this is very philosophical, because luxury is not slowing down by choice, actually. It's slowing down because they have to, and because trust is very fragile. I mean, the world is very fragile. So what about luxury? Luxury is also very fragile, and we'll see all the numbers from the big maison and companies. So everything is fragile, and luxury knows that. And that's why we see quiet luxury, quiet technology, and also hospitality coming back to basic. But I do think that emotion without structure doesn't scale. And this is where tech has something to do. has something to help in the structure. And execution also is what will make the difference.
Laëtitia, will you come back next year if we are not kicked out? Because
I will, for sure. I will.
Yeah, you
Just
it
to
was
make the
interesting.
comparison with New York and
Yes.
RF and here Shoptalk.
Yes.
No, and we learn a
No,
lot.
those
a
are two
lot,
different
a lot.
things.
Yeah,
And those are two different things.
different vision of the work, different vision of the
Different
consumption,
markets.
different market, different brands, actually, different people. Also, we had to say that we didn't
Yeah.
meet a lot of people from New York actually in RF, but we met different people, and that's good actually.
So last week it's the first edition. I don't know if we said, but for the people that joined the show, Shoptalk Luxe is the first edition this year. I wasn't so sure about what to expect, but I'm happy. We covered Luxe, technologies here, but we are not talking about AI all the time, and it's really about the market. I haven't felt that they are like struggling. It's like they know that the world is changing. They know that the good years are behind for most of them. So it's really how can we prepare and make sure that the next generation will.
But
continue
this
buying.
is all about luxury, and luxury is quite silent. So
Yeah.
even if they are struggling, I'm not too sure that people say I'm struggling. If this is very difficult, no, they want to lead that to normal retail.
And I think also, Laëtitia, I don't know what you think, but there are many things that we learn or we heard rather than learn that could be applied to retail. To the other market, right? Because those are the good concepts. You know how you can build trust, how you can build an experience in the store, and so on. So that was good for everyone, actually. No?
Yeah, actually, and that's why you said Heineken was there. So I think that Heineken maybe can get some real insight from that, and maybe Heineken will apply that.
So yeah, again, it was a good show.
Yeah, good show. We are very happy. Let's see how it will be transformed. I mean, the Shoptalk Luxe, if tomorrow will be another one, maybe still in Abu Dhabi or maybe in Dubai, we will see.
So if you have some question in the chat, you can ask now. Otherwise, Laëtitia, what's next?
What's next? Okay, so we made a lot of videos about L'Occitane and all the stores that we visited. So if you want to have a look at that, go to LinkedIn, Le Café de l'e-commerce, or even to Startour Paris. Yeah, and you can have access also on YouTube. Well, everywhere we are, you can have access to these videos. Also, we made 2 episode of Le Café de l'e-commerce dedicated to luxury and Shoptalk Luxe with a lot of people. Luxury also, people who talk about that, and also a lot of tech.
This is the first time we do a live in English. We are, of course, French.
With a good accent.
But that's fine. So thank you very much for everyone. We had like almost
Thank you for your love and your
that,
support.
registered.
A lot of people.
All the chat, we see you, we read you. So thank you very much for everyone. We see you soon. Thank you. Bye-bye. Bye-bye, Laëtitia.
Thank you. Bye. And for the women here in the audience, we have 2 special moments. Next week in Paris and Lille, we will have Wire Women in Retail and E-commerce edition in Paris next Thursday, Thursday the 3rd in Paris. It will happen in Vitra, luxury as well. And we will talk about different things. And if you are based in Lille, we will be in Lille on Thursday the 5th. So this is only for women. I'm sorry. Maybe we can do something more inclusive later.
Thank you, guys. Bye-bye, everyone. Ciao.
Thank you.
Ciao,
Bye.
ciao. Shoptalk Luxe, le récap de cette première journée.
Cette première journée à Abu Dhabi, dans ce cadre exceptionnel, nous avons eu l'occasion de voir plein de tech, d'assister à plein de conférences et de discuter avec des gens du monde entier.